Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Midday News. It's Independence Day. Ghana is 69. I'm Sheila Sechi. Coming up, President Mahama lays out his vision for the country as he prepares to mark the milestone of 70 years next year. More as his government is in the final stages of setting up the Women's Development Bank, which he says will uplift women across the country. Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment signs Memorandum of Understanding with Ghana Tourism Federation to strengthen professional standards. While residents excited about imprisonment of serial killer want police to apprehend accomplices. Details as Member of Parliament for the area lauds the Ghana Police Service for arresting serial killer. We've got business, sports, world news and showbiz package in this bulletin. I'm Sheila Sechi. Stay with us for details.
Yes.
Thanks for your company this afternoon. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. Now let's step into our very first story. President Mahama has outlined his vision for Ghana as the nation prepares to celebrate its 70th anniversary next year. Speaking at the 69th Independence Day celebrations at the Jubilee House, he said his ambition as for Ghana preserves its forest and environment for future generations. A Ghana where merit, not connections, determines opportunities, and a Ghana that produces what it consumes. He says the vision is within reach but requires collective efforts. Now, let's analyze this with Darrell Bonsu, who is the Deputy Director for A. Rocha Ghana. Thanks for joining us, Darrell. Thank you for joining us, Darrell. Now, how do you receive the news? Hello, Darrell. If you can hear me, kindly unmute. Hello, Darrell. If you can hear me, kindly unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Tell us how you received this news.
Well, I must first of all say happy independence to you and to every Ghanaian out there. And as you know, Ghana's heritage and independence has been shaped by our fathers fighting for the land, for our forests, for our water, and even bequeathing to all of us the kind of resources we now have at our disposal. I really give a big respect to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for reminding us of this aspiration as a people and something that he has also dedicated to work towards. I believe that as a country, I cannot imagine a country where we don't have water, we don't have our forests to really provide us all the services that we need. And so if we really want to guarantee welfare, well-being, and also continuous food supply for our people, continuous water, even a thriving economy, then we must do whatever it takes to protect our forest reserves from every encroachment that is really depleting and destroying it. As we speak now, yes, Ghana is 69 today, but I believe that our forest reserves are struggling, and we have illegal logging seriously decimating the forest reserves. Galamsey is also eroding and digging and eating up into the roots and even the very ecological integrity of these forests. So if the president really says that he is committed to the same aspirations our forefathers set forth when they gave Ghana independence, then I believe as now the president of the country, he must take whatever steps needs to be taken to ensure that we can guarantee the safety of our forest reserves. It starts with there as a state and as an executive, making sure that every political interference that they have been exerting on the work of technical institutions and commissions who are mandated to protect our forest reserves are all addressed. We cannot continue to be interfering in the work of these people, and we should also start by empowering these institutions with the necessary law enforcement, support, and intelligence. So every politically exposed person who is undermining the work of these institutions and commissions can continue to do our work. Right now, if you look at our forest reserves, if you look at our rivers, if you look at the environment, the biggest threat are the political elite who exercise powers beyond what has already been established through the laws and regulations of the land. So to start with, if we really want to guarantee a good forest for future generations, then we, the political elite and the political leadership of today, must set the pace and must do what is right by every citizen in Ghana. That is the only way I think this aspiration can become a felt need of the people, and one that we can all rally behind and support him in making it a reality.
Well, Daryl, hold that thought for me right now. I would like to read something for you to react to it. Now, 69 years after independence, some residents in Accra have expressed dissatisfaction with the sanitation situation and are calling for suitable, sustainable measures to address the challenge. Michelle Latte reports.
Today is Independence Day, a day to reflect on Ghana's journey 69 years ago, a day to remember our rich cultural heritage. But the reality is different for residents and traders within the Agbogboshi market area. You can see in your shot what a drain close to the market looks like. And on a daily, you see clean-up exercises being undertaken in the mornings. But later in the day, the story changes. Littering all around, waste piling up at various markets, bus stops, bus terminals, and what have you. We've been speaking to some residents of the area and some traders within the area to see what they make of the sanitation situation. And this is what they had to say.
Really, what I think is we are going back. We are not moving forward. You can see the situation around. Agbogboshi has been like this for almost several years now. Yeah, so I think we are going back.
Going back, and what do you do on your part to ensure that we don't sit in the filth like how you see around us now?
You see, when you talk about what we can do on my side or as an individual, it's little because you know, Ghanaians, we are a little bit problematic. So when it comes to somebody doing his part, it becomes a little bit problematic. The system is not good. Whereby the system is not good, people are forced to, you know, do whatever they want to do.
Why are here? I'm a back every month, and I say, Mammy, and what do you got? I mean, got she I'm going to make a me banana J. I'm going to say, I make what you got. I mean, no, what to me, I'm a Joe got. I'm sure I will. Lomo Paba low, can't you got? I'm sure, but I want to work with the queen who work at Hano. What time say, what I put your ball lie, because it's quite a order to a machine.
So this particular trader says that for her, she doesn't think there's any progress in our sanitation situation, especially for this particular market. She works here at the Agbogboshi market. She says we've made no progress. The AMA does well to do their monthly sanitation exercise, but she says when it comes to the part of the traders doing their sanitation exercise also on their own, the assembly doesn't do well to come and collect these refuse, and it leaves them to trade under unhygienic situations.
Inside the gutter, the AMA people, especially weekends, they will come and remove the distance, the rubbish on the gutter. Now everything is okay for us.
But currently I can see behind you, the gutter is still choked.
Tomorrow they will come for it.
So is it that we continue to make this place dirty because we know that the authorities will come and clean it up?
Yes.
That's what you think? So what do you do on your part to ensure that our place is clean?
Tomorrow I'll also be part of them, so that we make this thing for place for we, Okadas, and then this, and we are helping them to clean the gutters.
As the country marks this particular milestone of 69 years of independence, we are being reminded that it is our responsibility to protect our environment and ensure that Accra becomes one of the cleanest cities. Reporting for Joy News, Michelle Latte, Agbogboshi Market.
All right, Daryl, now, if you're still there, the president has spoken, but this is the reality on the ground. People from Agbogboshi are leaving the issue of sanitation. How do you think we can just oppose to these two situations?
Thank you very much. I think as has been said, Ghana is 69 years, but as a country that is this old, we have not matured enough. There's still a lot of indiscipline. And if you look at the issues that we are confronted with today, it is all about indiscipline, lack of enforcement of our laws and all of that. If you look at the sanitation issues we are confronted with, each citizens, yes, are somewhat negligent on keeping the environment clean, but I think also that the state is failing to ensure that they crack the whip as and when is necessary. So across all sectors of the economy, I think we need to start demonstrating discipline and some maturity in everything that we do. That is the only way that we can progress. And talking about the forest and also about the land in every aspect of it, if you go down to the ground, you realize there's still almost the same issue of lack of enforcement, lack of compliance, and also indiscipline seriously across all of these. And so the only thing I can say is that if we really are committed to living up to the aspirations and really looking to make progress as a nation, we should start immediately embedding discipline and also some maturity in everything that we do. And where the citizens are failing to do that, we need the state to show leadership. And I always say that the responsibility for our leadership and for governance in this country lies with the elected citizens of this country. We deliberately say, look, you are the people we are putting in charge of the affairs of the state. So they owe us a fiduciary duty to do right by us and to make sure that as a country, every aspect of the economy where there's indiscipline, where there's lack of maturity, everybody is towing a line that is working towards patriotic and sustainable development of this country. This is how a nation should develop, and I believe that the government and the state and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has the mantle now, has a responsibility to make sure that that happens.
Darrell, how far should we go with discipline? How far should we go with discipline?
You know, I think that there's a lot to learn from several countries. A lot of us travel a lot, and our leaders in particular travel a lot. A lot of the countries, they go for some of these international conferences and also congresses. There's a lot of discipline, and these things are all handy. They are close to us. We can actually make sure it happens, but it's just about we making sure it happens. And that's why I say that when it comes to discipline, we should not really relent on it. And the state must make sure that we should not look at people's party color or even look at favoritism before they crack the whip. We need to make sure the law applies without fear or favor and without any consideration for whoever is in power or because they are politically exposed. That's why we let them off the hook. This is something should guide us as a people, and that is the only way we can develop. We need to ensure equality before the law and also equity. And that is, for me, how as a country we can develop and progress.
Well, thank you very much, Darrell Bonsu, for joining us this afternoon. Darrell is the Deputy Director for Erocha, Ghana. And now, how did the regions commemorate the day? Let's speak to our correspondents. Let's start from Martina in Tamale.
So for the northern region, we had the various districts held their various march pasts. I was at the Tamale Metro venue at the Jubilee Park where the state march was celebrated. 13 schools participated in the event. At the end of the day's march, Tamale Girls Senior High School emerged the overall senior high school category. Ambaria Junior High School emerged the overall junior high school category, and Presby Experimental emerged the overall primary school category. Addressing the gathering, the mayor of Tamale, Abuta Koro, said that the Tamale Metro Assembly had procured about 1,000 dual furniture and distributed to some schools in the area. He said that they are constructing about 7 different blocks in 7 schools to help augment accommodation in these schools. He talked of the drug menace in the region and the metropolis in the whole, and how they are working to address the issue. He also talked of sanitation in the area and appealed to chiefs to join in the fight to ensure the city is clean.
Well, thank you very much, Martina. Now, from Tamale, let's head all the way to Abigail Esil in Cape Coast. Abigail, tell us what the mood is like in Cape Coast.
Right, so currently I was at the KEA Municipal, where some 7 schools celebrated Ghana's 69th birthday at the Broibima MA Basic School Park. In some of the addresses that were made at the event, the students were advised to uphold discipline. This is in light of recent violence reported in some of the senior high schools in the region. And the students were advised to talk out whatever issues they have with their fellow students instead of resorting to violence. The celebration was very beautiful. It was a beautiful display of culture and then talent. The weather was also very great. Fortunately, we didn't record any students, suffering from any fainting spells or any dizziness. Overall, the celebration was good here, and it just ended here at the Broyima MA Basic School Park.
Abigail, tell us what message stood out during the celebration.
Right. So, as I said earlier, the message that stood out was the students being urged to uphold serious discipline. This is in light of recent violence reported in some senior high schools in the region. So the students were, mostly all the guest speakers were drumming on that particular issue, upholding discipline in their dealings while in school and also at home. The church, the community, and parents were all advised to ensure that their students are abiding by rules and regulations to ensure that no violence or no problems are reported from their schools or in their lives.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Abigail Isil is reporting live from Cape Coast. Now in the Ashanti region, Metropolitan Chief Executive of Kumasi, Richard Ofori Ajiman Bwedi, has challenged the citizenry, including private and public entities in Ashanti region, to uphold the theme for this year's Independence Day celebration for national development. Now let's speak to Emmanuel Kweku from the Ashanti region. Emmanuel, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Hello, Emmanuel. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear me? Now, while we wait for Emmanuel, let's listen to the mayor from Kumasi.
As mayor of Kumasi, the historic city of His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II Asante, I reaffirm my deep commitment and that of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to transforming Kumasi, improving education, empowering our youth, and ensuring sustainable urban development. We are working to expand access to quality learning environments, provide stronger support for educators, and improve school infrastructure and resources because we firmly believe that investment in education are investments in the future of our city and our nation. These efforts reflect Kumasi's proud legacy as a center of culture, innovation, and leadership, and demonstrate our resolve of ensuring that under this administration, the city continues to thrive as a model of progress and opportunity for all. This year's celebration revolves around the theme, Building Prosperity, Restoring Hope. As stated by His Excellency the President during the State of the Nation address, this theme is not merely ceremonial. It is a national blueprint that guides our collective efforts towards renewed economic stability, social progress, and sustainable development. Reflecting where we have been, acknowledging the difficulties that we have endured, and confidently declaring where we are headed. It further reflects the government's broader strategic vision, anchored in the Resetting Ghana agenda, which seeks to restore confidence, strengthen institutions, and improve the everyday life of our citizens. I believe, more importantly, that the theme calls on every Ghanaian, including government institutions and officials, private sector partners, civil society, parents, teachers, and students to play an active role in the nation building. We are reminded that prosperity is not automatic. It is achieved through collective effort, responsible citizenship, and innovative approaches that drive the sustainable development of our metropolis and our nation. At the same time, it challenges us to adopt practical strategies that improve educational outcomes, strengthen skills development, promote digital literacy, and equip our youth to thrive in a rapidly changing world.
Now, to a rather unfortunate incident, 2 people have been confirmed dead, with the 3rd victim battling for his life at the Solatuna Kalba District Hospital in the Savannah region. The Savannah Regional Police Command, which confirmed the incident to JoyNews, said the victims were shot yesterday, Thursday, March 5th, at the close range in a broad daylight by an unknown assailant in the Jimbiri township. There has not been any arrest or confirmation of what triggered the latest shooting. Isaac Nonya joins us with details. Thanks for joining us, Isaac.
Thank you.
Can you give us an overview of the incident?
Yes, since the emergence of the presidential committee on Benyiri and the cleansing of the community, there have been relative peace, very calm, with a good number of people returning to the community. Now, it happened that when yesterday's incident happened, a good number of the women and then the men who have returned, the elderly, have relocated to Sokola, with the remaining also moving out from the community. We speak to the regional command, and what they're saying is that they are trying to put their things on together to see those who entered the community on a motorbike and shot and left. But they believe that whatever happens, the police will be able to bring the perpetrators to book and then ensure that there's justice in the system.
Can you tell us the current situation of the 3rd victim?
Well, we don't have access to medical reports with his current situation. But what we heard in the morning was that he was in a critical condition and the doctor needed to attend to him. But another source within the hospital said that he's more likely to be transferred to Tamale Teaching Hospital, considering the nature of injury. They say he sustained some gunshots on the rib and in the chest. But while he was managing yesterday up to now, the hospital authority was able to keep him unless his situation deteriorates and they have to move him to Tamale Teaching Hospital for further treatment.
Isaac, tell us how indigents are responding to this. Are they in fear of such incidents reoccurring?
Yes, according to some indigenous that we spoke to, this incident has come to confirm their long-term fear that all was not well and that the conflict was not over, despite the sacrifice of livestock to purify the environment and then raising cares on anybody who would take arms to shed blood. Now, what has happened, according to them, is that they cannot trust anybody any longer, and they have to take their own safety into their hands by moving out. You know, those who also move out and are largely in the western and western north have only are more or less vindicated based on their initial thought.
Well, Isaac, there will be following promptly for more updates. Now, Member of Parliament for Wa West Superintendent retired Peter Lenchini-Tobu is lauding the Ghana Police Service for apprehending Wa serial killer Sharif Abdullahi Kritos. He avers that the crime has no expiry date and is of the firm belief that anytime the police has any information about an accomplice, they will not hesitate than being him or her to face justice.
Investigation is not about believing. It's about facts and science. When the facts and science suggest something, if you don't believe it, you may bring a contrary view. But if you don't have a contrary view, until then, let's hold on to this, that we've done what we can do better. Tomorrow, if fresh evidence emerges, and probably there are other people who are linked to this matter, crime doesn't expire. Look, this is good news for us. Congratulations to the IGP, Mr. Christian Tete Yohonu. I know he took active part in the intelligence gathering on this matter. We thank the regional commander, DCOP, Mr. Francis Yiribare, for the wonderful job done. We thank the regional crime officer, my good friend, Mr. Dente, and all the intelligence officers who got together to get this mystery unraveled. We are so grateful for the good job done. But you know what? A lot of people are complaining. How can you, is it a summary trial? It is a murder trial. If you even say you are guilty, they can't use that to jail you. The law has been repealed a long time ago that we no longer have sentence to death. The death sentence has been repealed. So if you say you are guilty, you will be straight away dealt with. So there's nothing like wasting time. So there's nothing wrong. The courts were right, and I'm sure that the lawyer will say the courts were right. There's nothing. He's been jailed, convicted, sentenced, life imprisonment. And that is it. Criminals should learn from this. We are human and we should love ourselves.
Meanwhile, residents of Wa have welcomed the sentence handed over to serial killer 31-year-old Kobla Sharif Abdullahi, who confessed to killing 16 people in the Upper West region and 5 others in the Savannah region. More in this report by Rafiq Salam.
And beneath it is criminal intent, the face of a serial murderer. Sharif Abdullahi Christos, for close to 5 years, has killed over a dozen of people in the Upper West and Savannah regions. Majority of his victims being private night security men and mentally challenged persons. Crack security and intelligence officers were deployed to search for him, but for almost 4 years he was elusive until his rock ran out at Doble after he killed another security person, Issa Yahaya. The police say he was arrested following what they described as sustained intelligence operation and investigations. Here is the Upper West Regional Police Commander, DCOP Francis Yiribare, briefing the press on his arrest on October 6, 2025.
I am happy to announce, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, that our efforts at tracking these cases have yielded some significant outcomes. After weeks of intense intelligence, we have successfully arrested 2 suspects. Sharif Abdullahi, aged 30 years. The suspects later admitted during interrogation that he has killed 15 people in the Wa municipality since 2021. And that is proud to the recent killing of Issa Yahaya at Dobole. He further noted that he usually targets watchmen and mentally challenged persons.
He was subsequently arraigned before the Wa High Court on March 4, 2026, after committal proceedings at the District Magistrate Court, represented by counsel. Abdullahi pleaded guilty to the charges. Upon his own plea, the presiding judge, Justice Oseiwusu Ontwi, sentenced him to life imprisonment in hard labor. The sentence to serve life over the 23 murders has brought relief to the people of the Upper West region.
I thank the security agencies very well for their actions that led to the arrest, and I will encourage them to do more, at least to wipe out any other person that will be involved in such acts.
Well, I'm not happy because he might not be the only person that have killed all those people. If they're able to get all of them and bring them to court, then that will be fine. But for sending only one person to prison, I think that's not fair.
Much as they are happy about the sentencing of the serial killer, Sharif Abdullahi, they want the authorities, particularly the security agencies, to delve deep into the matter, to win more suspects in, to prevent future occurrences.
We were not there at the investigations, but as a good citizen of this region, what we want to urge the public is that they should do more investigation on this issue, because we can never understand that it's a single person act.
We are not sure whether those who are part of him are still there. If they are there, which I'm sure they are there, they can still do what he was doing, because he wasn't the only one killing the people.
Sharif Abdullahi Christos will serve his sentence at the Insawo Medium Security Prison.
Important for JoyNews.
And you're still live on Joy Newsroom. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And thanks for staying with us here on JoyNews Today. Now, ahead of the rollout of Ghana's 24-hour economy policy, the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ghana Tourism Federation to strengthen professional standards, enhance security and improve service delivery in the tourism sector. The partnership is expected to help better train tourism operators and improve safety for visitors as the industry prepares to operate more actively under the 24-hour economy framework. There is more in the following report.
The Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ghana Tourism Federation to improve professional standards and enhance security in the industry. Technical advisor on health and safety compliance at the Ministry of Labour, Brigadier General Dan, says this partnership is a step in right direction to ensure adequate security during the rollout of the 24-hour economy.
We are also going to collaborate with the 24-hour economy in terms of security, so that if you have tourists coming in, they are adequately secured. What is going to happen is that there is going to be a collaboration between the Ministry of Labour, the tourism industry, and the security forces. But then we are saying that we are also adding the private security companies, because the security companies have to be certified to have certain standards, so that if you have tourists coming in, they feel secure. Once they believe that they are secure in coming to a place and they are interested, you see they draw more people.
Officials of the Ghana Tourism Federation say this partnership is a step toward improving the quality of service offered within the industry.
This MOU is paving a way for having a minimum standard qualification if you are a worker within the tourism value chain. We believe that setting that minimum standard, improving the skill set of the workforce, will improve productivity, will protect investors' investment. Will currently tourism contribute 5.7% to our GDP. We believe that when this is done, we can increase it to 8% and can create jobs.
Stakeholders believe the collaboration will position Ghana's tourism sector to operate more efficiently while ensuring the safety of tourists and other industry players. For Joy News, Ramat Bashiru, Labour Ministry, Accra.
Now, away from that, Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana has threatened a nationwide strike from Monday, March 9, over what it describes as unpaid dues and unfulfilled agreements with government. The union says its patience has run out and members are ready to lay down their tools, a move that has already sparked heated exchanges in Parliament, with the minority accusing government of dragging its feet on implementing agreed conditions of service. Executive Director of GLOSAC, Bampo Addo, explains the action.
Of unique salary structure and other conditions of service for the staff of the civil service and the local government service. On Thursday, 19th February 2026, the National Executive Council, NEC, of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana, GLOSAC, met to consider the state of the negotiation on unique salary structure and other conditions of service for the staff of the civil service and the local government service. Taking the NEC through the journey of the unique salary structure and other conditions of service for the staff of the civil service and the local government service, which started as far back as 2019, culminating in the signing of two separate MOUs. The NEC observed that the staff of the services are being taken for granted as reminders to the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment, and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission have not been responded to.
And now in Parliament, members of Parliament are sharply divided along partisan lines. Let's watch this.
I believe they are very much concerned about the government inconsistency in dealing with arrears payments or issues regarding conditions of service across board, because when you get government picking and choosing which government institution it wants to pay them because of fear that their strike or demonstration will go against the government, then they would look at the civil service demand and say that, come on, yours is not as critical as we see in other sectors, so we can delay. That I find is very unfortunate, because you see these are conditions that they are entitled to, and irrespective of the state of the economy that we say or the government portrays that things are better, the economy looks good. When you go out there to the market, cost of transportation is not easy.
It's unfortunate, first of all, the declaration of strike by CLOSAC is unfortunate, first of all. And I think that the authorities are going to be looking at it closely, and then we'll see what is due them, and they will be giving. I mean, it is not in anybody's interest whatsoever at all that government institution workers declare, strike. I mean, it's not in anybody's interest. His Excellency Mahama, that's not what he's wishing for. Again, let us not forget that we took this economy from a very difficult position, and we're trying to reset this economy and to ensure that every Ghanaian gets what he or she is due. And so we played with my friends in this CLOSAC to reconsider their decision. His Excellency Mahama would take care of every situation, and I think that will be fine. We'll be fine. I think the authorities will take care of it very soon, and then they will return to work. There should be no problem.
I will call on our colleagues to exercise restraint. This situation was inherited by this government, and the government is working around the clock to find resolution. Even though prices of goods per se have not come down dramatically, we all agree living conditions are better because inflation is just 3.3, so the rate at which prices are going up is dramatically lower. Fuel prices low, dollar. So even though they're not getting the conditions they're looking for, they are better off under this government. And let me be clear here. This government is not going to renege on the earlier agreement with the previous government, except that we need time to capture all those things. So I will call for restraint. I will call for them to exercise some level of patience, and definitely they're going to be better under this government than the previous one.
Now, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, is raising strong concerns over limited resources to address perennial flooding and related challenges as it prepares to begin a nationwide demolition exercise aimed at minimizing the situation. The organization is racing against time to avert the challenge, which over the years has led to the loss of many lives and the destruction of properties worth millions of cedis. The Director General of the organization, Joseph Kion, who led the inspection tour of some flood-prone areas in Accra, says NADMO plans to intensify the pull-down of illegal structures on waterways but lacks the adequate resources and logistics to effectively carry out the exercise. Fatal Bayaga reports.
NADMO is taking very drastic measures to address the flooding situation in parts of Accra. This tour, led by the Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization, has visited so many areas, and they are monitoring these areas and ensuring that they take tougher measures in order to address the perennial flooding in parts of Accra. DG, thank you very much. Talk to us about this step taken by NADMO in terms of, addressing flooding, among other things.
Thank you very much. I always say that managing disaster is a process, not an event. We embarked on flood preparedness and prevention since last year, and we're witnesses to His Excellency himself touring some parts of Accra to acquaint with the flashpoints and preparations that were being done. And after that, we have worked along the line with the various MCEs and then the local authorities to ensure that we are ready and prepared should flood occur. And not only that, to also ensure that as much as possible we prevent it from occurring. But if we can get support and raise logistics from other agencies, it can be done in a week or two.
So what kind of support would you need?
We need more excavators, we need more payloaders, we need more dozers, we need more tipper trucks so that this work can be done rapidly, and then dredging can begin at the other end of the lagoon.
So apart from the equipment, I'm sure that you would also need some financial support. How much do you think would help NADMO in clearing some of these drains and also help you to do your work ahead of the rainy season?
A beggar has no choice. Whatever anybody can support us with, we'll be grateful to the person. And so we are saying it's a shared responsibility. Disaster management is not one person's business. It's not government business alone. Civil society, the business community, they all have a stake in ensuring that our society becomes resilient and safe.
So you can put a figure to it?
If I put a figure to it, I'll be limiting myself, because we are not limiting ourselves, because work is extensive nationwide. It's not only in Accra.
Many of the MCs across parts of Accra have expressed their commitment to support NADMO in achieving this particular situation and ensure that the perennial flooding in Accra is addressed. Reporting for Joy News, I'm Fatal Bayaga, Accra.
And my colleague Fatal Bayaga there. Now, a former Deputy Defense Minister, Kofi Amankwa-Menu, says the recent pirate attack and adoption of fishermen in the central region has left fisherfolk living in constant fear, attributing the incident to what he describes as failed leadership. Contributing to the debate on the State of the Nation address in Parliament, he argued that decisions taken by the NDC while in opposition, including the rejection of a contract to procure offshore petroleum vessels, have partly contributed to the situation.
Speaker, is it not worrisome that for the first time in our history, we can have pirates coming as close as within 30 nautical miles of our waters, approximately 45 kilometers, having a field day to the extent of abducting our compatriots? Is that not worrisome? It is very worrisome. And Mr. Speaker, sometimes I ask, where did we get here? And how did we get here? My colleague alluded to the fact that when a contract was brought to this House, it had to be withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, when the contract was brought to this House, I sat right there. And in fact, at the mere mention of that contract, our colleagues rejected with an emphatic no that we will not buy those equipment. Those are the OPVs. These OPVs have long endurance, stay on sea, and they have firepower. It is wrong and erroneous for my friend to say that pirates are pirates, and so they can strike at any time. Yes, pirates are pirates. They can strike at any time. But it is a responsibility of our leadership to prepare against any eventuality or attack from any pirate. We sat, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that 50 of our fisher folks were abducted. For me, the fear here is that this is going to have a negative impact on our fishing communities. Now, fisher folks, when they have to go to sea, we always have to be looking over their shoulders. Why would they have to do that? Because they don't know, as my colleague said, pirates are pirates, and so they can strike at any time. They are not safe, and so they will be looking over their shoulders for the next pirate to strike. We cannot do that.
But Chairman of Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee, James Agalga, says the swift response by the Ghana Navy in rescuing the 71 fishermen deserves commendation. According to him, the intervention demonstrates the preparedness of Ghana's maritime security agencies to respond to emerging threats at sea.
With respect to the terror attacks in our waters, Mr. Speaker, pirates are pirates. They would attack. But the problem is, after the attack, we are looking at the response, the reaction of our security forces. Did we react or not? We did. In fact, there was a hot pursuit for those pirates. They were chased and they fled. Our Navy acted in coordination with our Air Force. Our fighter jets were in the sky. Our ships were on our waters. The pirates had to retreat very quickly for their dear lives. Mr. Speaker, thereafter, we were able to rescue all the affected fishermen. 71, not a single soul was lost. We should be full of commendation for our security forces, the Air Force and the Navy, which is why our president has indicated in the message on the State of the Nation that we would continue to equip and to retool the security services. The other day, Reverend Ntimfojo indicated that
when they brought an agreement before this House for the acquisition of 2 offshore patrol vessels, we opposed it. Mr. Speaker, the Hansard would bear me out. We never opposed the acquisition of the 2 offshore patrol vessels. In fact, the minister who led the agreement before this House was the same minister who withdrew it. The same minister withdrew it because he himself was concerned that we needed to do due diligence, and so he didn't want to be fingered. We're close to the election. He didn't want to be fingered after the election, as if he knew his party was going to lose, and actually they lost. They deserved the defeat that they themselves recorded. And so, Mr. Speaker, we would bring back that same agreement, and when we bring it back, it would go down in our records that it is this government, President Mohammed's government, which acquired the 2 offshore patrol vessels for our Navy.
And you're still live on JoyNews Today. We'll take a break for business right after this.
It or not, politics is like a necessary evil.
Mr. President, at what point in your political career or life did you think you'd be president?
There tends to be ambition that drives politics, career in it. And so I got in young.
What was your darkest moment as a president?
I don't want to talk about that.
It'll be a good time to talk about corruption.
I've thought of corruption. And I identified 2 major sources of it. One is the poor remuneration system. A whole police officer, say superintendents, and they get take-home pays of beyond 5,000 Ghana cedis a month. Yeah. And these are people who are sort of upholding law and order in our systems.
And now on to some business update. Customers of Advanced Savings and Loans are smiling home with exciting prizes after the company rewarded winners of the Ahayede promotion, an initiative designed to encourage a strong culture of savings among individuals and small businesses. Chief Executive of Advanced Savings and Loans, Gwemel Valence, says the reward scheme underscores the institution's commitment to strengthening financial stability, building resilience and supporting the growth of businesses across the country.
Winners of Advanced Savings and Loans Ahayede promotion received a range of home appliances including television sets and refrigerators, while the overall winner walked away with an all-expenses-paid trip to South Africa. The promotion, which ran for several months, sought to motivate customers to save consistently while strengthening their financial stability. In an interview, Chief Executive of Advanced Savings and Loans, Gwemel Valence, said the Ahayede promo reaffirms the company's commitment to rewarding customer loyalty, promoting disciplined savings habits, and supporting the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises.
So at Advance, we think we could not be where we are without our clients. So we constantly want not only to reward loyalty, but this promo was really about helping our client to develop healthy savings habits. So it's a mix of rewarding loyalty and savings habit, because we believe that in addition to the financial support we give to our clients, their financial daily or weekly habit to save money enable faster growth for their business and also more sustainability and resilience for their family.
Business Development Officer of Advanced Savings and Loans said Mike Anunu urged prospective customers to come on board, assuring them that their savings are safe, secure, and well protected within the institution.
In Advanced Ghana, we are not only here to pick your money, we are here for security. We've been in existence for over 17 years, and we've been in the market serving MSMEs. What it is that when you save with us, you have a peace of mind. You can go and sleep because your money is actually secured. This is not going to be the last promo we are going to have. We are going to have a lot of loyalty program moving forward. We are going to give more reasons for clients to choose Advance and save with us.
Overall winner of the promotion, Agnes Nadu, expressed appreciation to the company for their work and excellent service delivery.
I'm a single mother, but by the grace of God, God has led me through this business, and today I'm here as a winner for Advanced Ghana. I have a good heart, open heart. So all the time, if they do something that is not good for me, I talk to them and they correct their steps.
The company also rewarded top savers from selected branches across the country, recognizing their consistency and commitment to disciplined savings.
Well, that's all for business, and that's how we wrap up this afternoon's bulletin. My name is Sheila Sechi. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.